Hello YouTube, hello Internet, it's Irix Guy here. I wanted to take a moment to show everyone how to pack a frame pack. In today's case, this is an internal. It's called an REI Saturn. It's a pack I've had for about 6 years. It's really good. Love REI's equipment. So the first thing to do is always on the side. I usually strap a waterproof thing for my frame pack. This is fitted for my frame pack. Got it from REI. It's called a duck's back. And basically, if it starts raining, I can easily wrap my entire frame pack in that and keep it more water resistant. Always on the side, I put a knife. This is just a United States Air Force issue survival knife. Really good, really reliable knife. So that's, as you can see, as this pack's filled up, it'll stick out more like that. So you can put a knife on one side, machete on the other, whatever you want to carry. Now the top flap, all packs are different, but in the top flap I usually put stuff I want to stay dry on the inside here. So like I'll put, you know, if I'm taking a phone or something like that, I'll put it in there. On the outside, if your pack's set up like this one, I'd put stuff you want to get to, like maybe snack food for the trail, you know, stuff you wouldn't want to have to take your whole pack apart on the trail just to get a thing of peanuts or something. So weight distribution is important when you're doing backpacking. Even though a pack may not feel heavy when you put it on in your house, you're going to have that thing, depending on how far you're hiking, you're going to have it on probably 6-7 hours. And even if it's very lightweight, even the slightest bit of weight distribution problems, if you've got one side of the pack heavier than the other, it's really going to wear and tear your performance during the hike. So, something to keep in mind. Now, you can't really see in here because it's dark, but on the very bottom, I've got my sleeping bag. It's just a 0 degree, REI 0 degree sleeping bag. And it's in a compression stuff sack. So, inside of that, I've also added a pair of underwear, socks, and a t-shirt in case it, in case I got rained on and you know, the only thing that was, you know, it rained so hard, went through my duck's back for my pack, and the only thing I had dry was my sleeping bag, and that, at least I'd have a, you know, a spare change of dry clothes to put in. Now, usually what I do next, since I've got my sleeping stuff on the very bottom, I'll then put my stuff that I'd wear around the fire. Now, this weekend when we go, it's going to be in the 20s Fahrenheit. So this is just a rolled up pair of fleece pants. Always a good thing to pack. And then also a pair of gloves, warm gloves to wear. Put those in there. And then just a hooded sweatshirt. I'll put this camera down while I put it in there. So now, as you can see, my pack's got all of that. It's a sleeping bag on the bottom, clothes to wear around the campfire, you know, that night. And then, of course, you know, I'm wearing clothes out there, so I usually wear, it's always good to layer, so like I'll wear a pair of BDUs, you know, just your basic military issue pants, and then I'll wear a t-shirt and a fleece pullover. And if it gets hot on the hike, during the hike, I can pull that fleece pullover off. And it's always good to take some twine or something with you, especially if you've got this pack or a similar pack, because you can tie your layers and stuff on the outside if you get hot and not have to worry about unpacking to fit in whatever you might need to take off or put on during the trail. Toilet paper is very important, unless you like poison ivy on your butt. So I always put that in there, and I put it in the middle part to where it'll stay dry, but it's still somewhat accessible. I wouldn't have to unpack the entire pack if I needed to go to the bathroom. Okay, so we got that. I'm leaving room in here now because what I will do is I'll finish packing in the morning, because our menu tomorrow is going to be, we're going to do steaks. We're going to have marinated steaks and freeze them tonight, and then put them in one of those little bitty coolers and with ice packs, and keep it on the top. So that way it'll be wrapped in aluminum foil and ready to eat. And then you've also got to always have a gun with you, because if you don't, you could really get into a situation. I recommend Glocks. They're great for backpacking. They're made out of a plastic type material, but it's very strong. A lot of people say these things are not durable or whatever. They're great, and they can take all kinds of abuse. They fall in the water, the sand, or whatever. You've still got a good piece of self-defense with you. This particular one is a 357 SIG, and I've just got hollow points in it, so that ought to be enough to stop about anything that might might try to attack us on the trail. And then let's see, what else do we have here? So always put your gun, if you carry a gun, put it on the back part's what I recommend. And then that way, if you encounter something that is a threat, you can quickly get to it, just throwing off your pack and reaching in there. Or whomever's with you can quickly unzip that if they don't have a gun also, and they can get it out. Other things to consider: fuel. If you're taking a stove, backpacker stove, make sure your fuel canister is not empty. This one's got plenty left in it. And then also your stove. I've already packed my stove. I just put in there. It's a little small pouch. If you like extra comfort, take you a backpacker's pillow. This is a Thermarest I got. I like it a lot. And then once you pack everything up the next day, you can then put on your tent. Now this is a 3-person tent. Excuse me. I don't even think they make it anymore. It's REI Taj 3, but it's 3-person. But it's perfect. I consider it a perfect 2-person tent. So it's good size. Always when you're putting your tent on the bottom, make sure that the string and all that, make sure it's compressed tightly, but also the string's tucked in, because otherwise you're going to get caught on some binds, and it's either going to rip your sack that your tent's in, or it's going to make stuff fall out and you not even realize it. So you get to your campsite, you don't have all your tent poles or whatever. Also, if you're taking a camera, just put it in a little neoprene case to protect the lens. I'm taking a HD camera. And take a machete or a hatchet if you want to. Those are good for chopping up wood. I'm taking a machete. I think I'll be able to get by with the firewood that I need with that. And then also a ground pad. I like these that are self-inflating, but then you can just got a little blowhole and you just blow it up more. These compress really well, and they're very light, and they're very comfortable. So you're probably looking at this. Oh, and your map. Always take a map, because you never know when your GPS might break, or you may think you know where you are and you're not. So always take a map. And to that point, the GPS I just use a wrist wearable Forerunner. And this records, you can set waypoints. So when you start, you set a waypoint. It'll also record your tracks, so you've got a visual of where you've been. And then when you get ready to come back, you know where you need to go. And if you need to take a shortcut, you've got waypoints, so you can get there unless your batteries die. And so yeah, it's pretty heavy packing when you look at it. But the joy is when you've got more than one person going. I mean, this time it'll be my wife and I. You can distribute the weight. So I'm carrying a lot of the sleeping stuff, the tent, and I've even got a chair. This is a folding chair right there. A 3-legged chair. It's pretty nice. So, if you're not going by yourself, you can afford to take a lot more weight, and just have people going with you carry the other stuff, the luxury items. But in this case, I'm carrying pretty heavy load, but it'll be worth it. And feel free to check out my other videos on YouTube. I'll post some other backpacking tips and tricks videos also. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good one.